So I'm over here looking at your albums.
Yeah.
I see Jay-Z throwing up.
The Illuminati, right?
Yeah.
The eye.
I
Yeah.
don't know if you were able to look at that Roots Picnic.
I did.
What was your thoughts on the freestyle that he did?
I don't think it was necessary. I think that he had an interview where he's saying the beef is uncalled for. Brother, you in your 50s, what are you doing? You're looking like I don't know what with the puff out afro. I understand it. You know, you want to show your diversity and all that. But there comes a point where we can't continue to play the games that the devil wants us to play. You understand? And here it is, you're 50, pushing 60, and you're talking about other rappers.
They're still talking about stabbing someone that was from.
Yeah, you're talking about and okay, we know you stabbed. Okay, do you need validation because you stabbed somebody? I don't get that. You know what I mean? Over a woman, Charlie Baltimore, right? All right. So once again, you're showing the 85% mentality. Now you had the nerve to put on our flag at one time, and you've been influenced by some of the gods and earths out there. So then prove that. You don't gotta go low and go, beneath the surface measure in order to get validated. You've been away from quite some time. I mean, was your show nice? Okay, it was good, man. Coming from a veteran music executive, I could appreciate, the show and the Roots Picnic, and I can get all that. But all that back and forth, and you're talking about this DJ, this rapper, I should say, that's unnecessary, man. You ain't got to do that. It's probably best that you didn't do any of that. Now, if you want to do a little freestyle to show that you still got skills, great. But you ain't got it. You ain't got to stoop to that level, man. You supposed to be beyond that. Remember, you're the billionaire, hip hop mogul who unfortunately, showed your true colors when you went against your man, Dame. Right? To me, loyalty. Let me just say this, man. I got this thing, man, that I've always I lived with even as a young man. There was a brother named Shorty Black in my neighborhood, part of the, farmers crew. Peace be unto him, he's gone now. And many others, Divine and, Freddie Love. And these are brothers from Farmers Boulevard, where I was taught by them as a young man. And the one thing that they taught me to always remember is code. What is that code? The code for me, from what I was taught, you don't talk about nobody in the sense of, trying to, you don't need to do that. They're going to be revealed sooner or later anyway, right? You hold your ground, you stand your ground, you be a man, and you be wise about how you move and how you operate as a man, right? Now, these are things we was taught by brothers who did it right and did it the best when they was doing it. When you got somebody like Jay-Z, based upon his status in the world of entertainment, that the guy to go on a stage to talk about other rappers, it shows you where we still have not grown from. It kind of shows you again, what was the purpose of the contradiction? You said one thing, you did something else. Remember I talked about the double-sided man in the previous bill. You got to be mindful of this. We ain't taking nothing away from Jay-Z's creative reality, but he's a man, or at least supposed to be, and you're not supposed to be doing all that, man. You're supposed to be an example of what happens when you as a rapper or as an entertainer goes to another level. There's a certain standard you're supposed to have, a certain standard you're supposed to live by. You know what I mean? And it's a certain way that you're supposed to carry yourself. Now, many people, well, life, you was in the entertainment game. I'm still doing entertainment. Maybe not at the levels I was doing it, working at labels and all that. But anyone who's ever worked with me, who knows me in that game, knows I'm about three things. Loyalty, you know what I mean? Mission, orientation in terms of handling your business, and professionalism. No one in the game of entertainment can ever say life did this and life did that, did some sneaky weirdo shit, and never. They can never say it because it never happened. They can never say that I wasn't a professional. I just had my Warner Brothers reunion the other day. And I met, you know, a lot of my friends who I worked with over the years in the game of entertainment, and some that I really didn't care for, to be quite honest, because they did a lot of snake shit. And you know who you are, you know what you are, and you know why you are, for whatever reason you did those things for those people who do those things out there. But I felt proud that I could walk into a place and have people say, I remember your name. I remember you. I remember, you know, seeing your name everywhere. You was everywhere. I remember that. That to me is honor, because I did it right. You know what I mean? And I think in closing to that situation with Jay-Z and that Roots picnic, it was a great situation. I appreciate it. But what he did, he didn't have to do that. Unnecessary. For what? To do what? I didn't see the point in that, and it goes again to show you how the 85s think, right? Remember, 85s are hard to be led in the right direction. You know what I mean? So you're supposed to be at a certain stage of professionalism. You don't see seasoned entertainers do that type of shit. You don't see that. You know what I mean? So why are you doing that? Show that you've grown up in this. And despite your decisions and what you did with Dame and what you did with, you know, Biggs and all them, and you turned your back on them, whatever, don't turn your back on the up and coming artist who needs to know how to be a professional, how to do things right.
I think that's a pretty interesting symbol for a lot of different other aspects of, you know, our culture, quote unquote, the culture. I don't want to say our culture, but the culture. People throw that term around. Where it's like the elders or the older people and the younger people are still very much the same in how they conduct themselves. There's no real evolution that I'm seeing for people who as they age. I say people get older, but they don't grow up. You know what I mean? So from a maturity standpoint. So it's like they you know, people wonder why the youth don't respect the old, but I think a part of it has to do with that. I
would agree with you 100%. I think the old is trying to come down to the youth level. You was there already. You had your moment to be young. Right. There's a reason why we get older. There's a reason why that we have a certain stance that we take when we become older men and women. There's a reason why we get gray hairs, right? There's a reason why that we can't do the shit that we used to do just to be doing it because everybody else is doing it. I can't stoop to a young ninja's level. I'm a motherfucking samurai. Do you understand that? Right? I'm a samurai, okay? I'm not a young ninja, so I'm not gonna do what young ninjas do. Right? But I think there's a responsibility that comes with, you know, trying to fit in, trying to still be, you know, celebrated and validated. You had your moment, right? And if you didn't take the moment for what it's worth, then move out the way so that the youth can have their moment, but give them the right guidance. A lot of these youth, man, they don't want to hear a lecture. See, back in my day, we wanted to hear the lecture. We wanted to hear somebody tell us something. The other day I was watching, you know, old films from our professors, John Henry Clark and Francis West, you know what I mean? You know, about the whole genetic annihilation and the whole, you know, and these people are gone now, but we have them in film, we have them. And everything they said back then in the early 80s when they were still on the scene is still valid now. Today is even more prevalent today. And I look back and say, damn, I had that opportunity to be around that. Y'all, these young brothers and sisters don't have people that's really giving them the meat and the potatoes that they need to sustain and understand that you're not gonna be young forever. One day you're gonna have to realize that your age, meaning your age, not how old you are, your age of how your mind operates, have to go into a place where it needs to operate correctly. You see what I'm saying?
The interesting part of that is that I don't think people are realizing that everything that you record on your phone and put in the atmosphere
stays there
forever. So
right, perpetuity, right?
Man,
yeah.
20s doing all this silly stuff, and then now
40 years later, look at the situation with 50 Cent's woman, right? It's out there, right? Doing craziness, right?
Right.
She claims, oh, I ain't know, and you knew. And you knew you was being recorded, but you didn't care. You didn't care. Now, he claimed, oh, he don't care if she screws a dog. But wait a minute, you screwed her then, knowing that that's what she was on. And then she had your seed, which shows you again, right? Are you even thinking, right? If you know this is the type of woman that's doing this, why would you plant your seed in that? You know what I mean? Now that young boy, his young son, Sai, I believe his name is, kind of like the same thing with Kim Kardashian and doing all this flimsy, whimsy crap out there and thinking that's honorable, thinking that's respect. That shit shows you a hoe. Now, when that young man, your young son, you women out there who like to do all that craziness on for content, when you get older and that footage is out there, you know what I mean? And you look back and your children look at that, you know how they gonna see you?
I just can imagine your kid being in high school and one of his friends says, "Isn't this your mom?" Pulls the video up.
And she out there wilding. They just showed me, I seen some young woman with her down in San Diego tweaking. Twerking, tweaking. Yeah, like what are you doing?
She was tweaking.
Tweaking, twerking, jerking, whatever you doing. What type of, listen, we have to be mindful. Me and the God was building this the other day. We in the last days where people are just boastful. They have no respect. They don't have no regard for nothing, right? But remember, what comes around goes around. We only repeating everything that happened before. There's going to be a sweet cleanse coming soon. We ain't talking about, the water is gonna cover and Moses' Ark. Are we gonna get on, what I mean? And float across the ocean and end up in Turkey somewhere. We talking about the earth is going through an enormous change. It's going through what we call a rebirth, regeneration. It's going through some real shit. I'm talking about the actual earth. And those inhabitants on the earth is starting to feel it.
It's when you were building on cleansing.
Yeah.
When you do a cleanse, a lot of times you're gonna feel worse before you feel better.
Oh man.
So it seemed like that's what's happening with the earth right now.
Yeah. It's cleansing itself because remember the earth has a frequency, it has a heartbeat. If you ever look at the resonance of the earth's beat, it's the same as your heart. So what's going on with us is going on the earth. We got to get cleaned up. We can't be, listen, man, the stuff that we're doing out here for content and for numbers and for algorithms and all this nonsense, you gotta stop it, man. You gotta stop that because that image, the image that you're portraying is not a healthy one. And it continues to put us in a position of uncertainty as a people. And it puts us in a position that we have no respect for ourselves, no regard for ourselves. Look what they did the other day with the Knicks game. People tearing up, people beating them up because they got a Spurs shirt on. I wish one of you would beat me up. You know what I mean? I'm gonna shoot the shit out you. Yeah, I'm gonna have to, pull out on you. You know what I mean? For doing dumbness, right? And of course, hand in hand is good too, right? But again, I'm just saying with these type of behaviors, being, uncivilized and savage-like and all that, we gotta stop it, man. We gotta stop that because that's not who we are. That's society.
I saw a horrible video where there's this dude who, his whole thing, he goes around kissing bald head men on their head. And then,
notice my face?
You know what I mean? And then recording the reaction. So it's an older man on the train, minding his business. Dude goes over, kisses him on the head. So the old man wilds out and starts swinging.
Without question, you violated his space and his manhood. What the fuck you kissing me on my boy head for?
But then dude gets mad because the old man swung on him and starts beating the old man up.
Nah, you can't do that. Well, again, self-defense, but you triggered it.
That's what I'm saying.
Listen, man, mental health, and we're going to speak on that brief. Mental health at this point in time is nothing to play with. people's temperament is very limited. Their patience is very minuscule. It's very short. You don't know what a person went through that day or going through at that moment. One dumb shit you do. I remember there's this Spanish guy. I don't know what his name is. He's on YouTube. He go, he'll look at you a certain way.
Yeah, you go to Home Depot.
Yeah, you go. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know what he's been doing lately, but he's been doing it. You know what I mean? Yo, what you saying? And he's doing all this stuff. Yo, bro, do you realize you can get killed for the wrong look? Because people feel like you threatening them with their look. I'm not saying keep your head down on some sucker shit, but you got to be careful with what you're doing out here, man.
Just for some views and some likes and some...
Man, listen, fuck those views, fuck those likes. Excuse me for the young people listening, man. Screw all that view and like shit. See, I don't come from that era where we had likes and views. You know what I mean? I don't come from that, so none of that shit affects me. You know what I mean? It affects them because, again, I think a lot of these young people, they need validation. They need somebody to say, I'm here. I don't come from that era.
No matter what, at what cost.
Yeah, like they got they gotta have the superficial certification to feel I'm alive. I have never done that, and I don't come from that era. We didn't have that type of mentality where I gotta get liked in order to be accepted for who I am. Nah, what the fuck?
Right.
Yeah, but
people are liking really don't like you.
They don't like nothing. They don't even know you.
Acting a fool and
it's entertainment. Right. I don't like, you know what I mean? No, there's a lot of shit that I don't like. There's some shit I be seeing, that shit is funny as hell. But do I even know you? No. Right. I don't know you from a can of paint. You know what I mean? Yeah, God.